I don't think it's Morgan Freeman up there or anything, but it all can't be random chaos.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails. Guys, today I have another top 10, or is it top 11? I can't tell anymore. We kept striking characters and putting them on the shame list. So we have up to 11 top attacking characters that are non-obvious. I have Gom with me, good old Maurice from Operation Metaverse fame, way famous-er than I am. Absolutely, he's a guy I used to tell people like I don't want to listen to anyone. I don't want you to link me unless it's Operation Metaverse or there was a couple other lesser individuals as well. But Gom, you kind of I'm excited to have you on here with me, man. Thanks for coming on.
Oh, excited to be here, man. Yeah, I love all this stuff. You guys invited me into the Gambit. It's been a lot of fun. I really look forward to the roundtable. It's probably my favorite stream I do all month, every month. I really look forward to hanging out with you guys. So this has been a real treat. So,
Yeah, man. We've been loving it, dude. It's been a blast actually, and you fit right in with the Gambit guys. We were at 5, and then I was like, man, it feels like we could just add a couple more, but we want to make sure that the chemistry's right, all the different things. And you, like, after I asked all of the existing guys, and everyone was like, dude, everyone loves Gom. Just like shut up and ask him. I was like, all right, fine, I'll ask him. And,
oh
and
yeah,
then you
man.
said yes, so
Yeah, man.
made
Thank
us
you.
feel fancy. Heck yeah, man. So that being said, we've got attackers. So I mean, this list is kind of just a weird hodgepodge, if we're being totally honest. Like, the list is non-obvious attackers. So like Jedi Master Luke or Jedi Knight Luke, any galactic legend like Darth Vader. There's all these attackers there that are obviously going to make a top 10 list, and there's a million videos just demonstrating their dominance. But there's a lot of unsung heroes in on everyone's roster. Really, a lot of people have them even well geared, and a lot of people don't really even know why. And so we have a list of characters. They're not necessarily like in order the best that we think. And there's not like there's just an arbitrary line. It's like, oh, like for instance, Gom, you had Grievous on the list, and we eventually just decided to cut him because it's like who's gonna disagree that Grievous is a top attacker, you know?
Well, he's farmable, very similar to Vader, and we kind of eliminated Vader and Han. Like you said, any
Sure.
raid character, any basically these characters are all basically farmable, like quote free to play for the most part, maybe except Omega. I think all the rest of them now are free to play farmable. Um, and Ahsoka, actually, I didn't know this till the other day, is that you actually begin the game with Old Ben, Ahsoka, and Jedi Knight Anakin now.
Oh, I
So
heard that. I'm so mad. I started my new player account, which is it's like a year old now. I feel stupid, but like the new player experience is so different even now from what I when I started. So that account,
mhm.
but so you start with Ahsoka. She has a new face, not new face for new players, but so kind of off topic. How did you feel about the art change for her?
I,
Did you care? Do you
her,
care about that sort of thing?
not especially, but I will say hers is a lot better than like Farm Boy Luke. Like there were some
Yeah.
goofy ones. There were some really goofy ones
Yep.
they did. Hers looks pretty good.
I'm fine with it.
Hmm.
With hers at least.
Yeah.
It's whatever. And honestly, art, it's just I care about the kits more. And for those of you who don't know who good old Maurice is, we are gonna go to Operation Metaverse. I'm gonna have the link in the video description. Go to Operation Metaverse, both their Twitch channel and their YouTube channel. Really great people over there. They know what they're doing. Gom is I don't know what you'd call like co-leader of Operation Metaverse, co-hosting. Like
Yeah.
what do you guys call each other?
I don't know. Just I guess
Co
co-host. Yeah, co-host works.
host. There you go. Host is
Yeah.
perfect. I know that word too. So, contrary to what just transpired there. So, uh, our first on the list is Ahsoka, and she's actually I swear, I don't know how many times I've tried to use Nest against a Padme team, and it's like you kill Anakin, and you're like, I'm in the clear, I'm good. And then Ahsoka just WTF pwns her, and just out of nowhere. It's just kind of fun.
Well, because her basic does so much. She cleanses, it dispels, it heals herself. So I think, yeah, heals herself. If a 501st ally is present, and just she started out kind of meh. She's always, especially long ago, she's had a couple reworks now. But before her first rework with that unique, she was awful. But now she's starting to get more and more relevant because she assists anytime a GR, in the leadership, anybody uses a special move, right? The GR pool just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We just got Kenobi, like the GL Kenobi. She fits like a glove with him, and just she's becoming more and more useful as the days go on. Just so much in her kit. Like I said, cleansing, healing. She's got protection up. She does big damage on that maneuver move. She does have a leadership that applies to Night Sisters for some reason. I would save your Omega, honestly. It's just really bad, but it's very.
Uh, I actually, so you're right. If you want it for the leadership ability, just stop. But her ship is so good, like that
Yes.
Omega does impact her ship. So I'd still throw that, yeah, especially because she has the old school Omega that, like new players ask me sometimes, why are some Omegas only 3?
Yeah.
Like why do they only cost 3? I'm like, because the game used to be different. I can't tell you.
I'm through all the reworks and all the touch ups and all the new GRs and stuff we've gotten. I am shocked that this is actually still an option as leadership. That it hasn't been changed somehow.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like Night Sisters. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, she's great. Her ship is good. Like, you need 6 mods on her, yeah, almost in perpetuity, because regardless of if you're modding her for health or offense, like, she's relevant. Those stats are extremely relevant to her,
Hmm.
specifically being good. So, yeah, I've been playing around with the idea of Relic 7ing her, but we have Cat just around the corner. I'll probably give that to her first, and then move on. So, next up, this is one you're a great theory crafter. You know your stuff. I don't know much about Omega. The bowl cut character, from the front at least looks like a bowl cut. I'm not gonna say Omega, except I just did. But uh, she seems fun, and I hear she does fun things. But I don't know. What do you want to say about her, Gom?
Basically, I think it's going to take a while for people to really catch, like, really. She's brand new, marquee, right? So most everybody has her 3, maybe 4-star. So it's going to take a while. But what she does is underneath that hunter lead, anytime your Bad Batch have defense up, they deal true damage, right? And if she's stealth, there's several ways to give her stealth. She assists. So what she's doing, anytime any of your clones use a special ability, she's assisting and dealing in true damage. And there's a ton of stacking offense in her kit. Like, you're talking, like, okay, so let's say Hunter leads, and you want Wrecker to go immediately, right? Wrecker will go stun the team and put defense up, and you want Omega super slow. In theory, you want her super slow so she never loses that defense up and takes those 2 turns. So every time your clones do a special ability, she's assisting, and every time she assists, she does good damage. She does good damage because she is an attacker with stacking offense, and every time she assists, it's just spraying true damage, AoE true damage to the entire team, right? And this is true damage that isn't a critical hit, right? True damage can't critically hit, so you're not going to proc Kenobi. You're probably not going to piss off Malik with the fear. There's all sorts of advantages to true damage. We're seeing more and more of it in the game, and I think once people really learn the kit, start getting her 7-star, start getting her gear up there, they're going to see how much damage output she has over the course of a battle. Downside being she's very, very faction specific, and her zeroed in and target practice kind of mechanic is very cool, but it's very difficult to get multiple instances of that off. It can be kind of clunky, right? So that's going to take some practice to get to use that. It basically, you can bypass taunt with it. Whoever is zeroed in, you can hit him if there's a taunt. It doesn't matter. You can hit him or her regardless. So, and target practice is another element kind of stacking offense, more like right there, crit chance offense and critical damage per stack. And she does give protection up to the team. She gives a little bit of turn meter boost with her last ability. So it's an odd kit, but if utilized properly, could really dish out tons and tons of true damage under Hunter. I'm really excited about her.
Right on. Yeah, she seems really good. I'm excited. I'm obviously not excited enough to whale out yet, but she is good. I plan on light whaling at least. So, next up, we have B1, who I remember when relics first came out. He was a guy I had pegged for one of my first relics, and people are like, "Really, B1? Like you're not getting any health. Why would you ever do that?" And I'm like, the damage. He's so pervasive. He just every time anyone goes on his team, if you have him with separatists, which obviously that's the key, but he just keeps dishing it, keeps going.
Well, yeah, you'd be hard pressed to find like a character that does more just damage output over the course of a battle. Like I mean, and plus the droids, the battalions, they do so much. They provide tenacity, crit avoidance, and however many he has provides that amount of healing. And like he's not married to Grievous, right? He's not married to Grievous. You could use him under a Newt lead, under a Dooku lead, and then he will not lose those droid battalions. Whenever Grievous takes a turn. So especially in like a PVE element, like some of the territory battles, you can get him up to 200 stacks of this droid battalion. So you're not getting debuffed, you're not getting critically hit, and he's just healing, just like crazy. So he's very useful. And the Separatist faction, it ended up being a pretty damn good faction, right? There's all the tools and pieces you can interchange, swapping it out. So
Yeah.
lots.
Oh yeah, separatists, man. I remember once I was just looking at, like, scrolling through my roster. I was like, oh, I have every single separatist relic, and like accidentally,
Yeah.
because every single one of them is useful in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Except for Dooku, he helps you unlock someone. But,
Yeah, I'd take that back instantly. I would love to have those resources back.
yeah, yeah, what I would give.
Yeah, you don't see him on this list.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Yeah, B1. I also, just like from a, I don't know, from a just kit perspective, they captured him perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't, I just love that he's represented. He's only one character that you see, but it would be too overwhelming to see, like, the thousands of them that they would actually have. And I feel like he's just really well represented. Like, every time he's hit, he's quote-unquote killed, but just the stacks. I mean, people say that CG can't make good kits, and I'm like, and this is a while back that they made it, of course, but I always used to say, like, this is like the epitome of a good, like, well-balanced kit that is, like, perfectly matching to like what happens in lore, which, not that lore matters that much really, but I've always had a thing for his kit and how you interact with the game, or how he interacts with it. So, next up, Hero Finn, Resistance Hero Finn, and I mean, maybe he goes on the list. Like, he's close to the list of obvious. Like, he just does a lot. I love that he can swap that turn meter. Like, that's such a skill thing. You can choose who's gonna go next, and then he gets their turn meter. So you can also just, like, get back-to-back turns, and then his grenade of healing. I think the thing that a lot of people miss is he's just really good, even outside of, like, being with Rey. Like, everyone wants to put him with Rey, and in some ways he's just overshadowed by her entirely. Like, then he's just another gun, kind of.
Well, and if you want to use Poe, you have, like, Finn is the one that gives him the Inspire, right? That he can pass around, and then everybody's countering. Like, he is the kind of fuel in the engine, if you will, for Poe too. So I do like him. And actually, the bane of JTR's existence was always the Night Sisters, the traditional JTR teams. Night Sisters stomping, but with that healing grenade, like you said, it will eliminate the plague. And that's why you're seeing a lot of these JTR resistant bros, maybe OG Finn resistant bros sort of teams. And they're tough. And he's very fast, very good base speed. The faster you make him, the more likely you might deter Vader from your Rey team if you do use him on Rey. Just lots. It can do good damage if you mod him for it. Pretty good in terms of health, which goes well with Rey and the protection up that she generates. So I've used him on defense so much that I guess I'm a little guilty of not. I don't know. I guess I don't have too much to say about him because he always seems to be on defense somewhere for me. So haven't physically used him very much.
Well, because he's annoying. Like, on defense, I'm always like, great, now I have to actually count for this, and if he's really fast, then I have to use something fast, or he's gonna pass the turn to Poe. Poe's gonna stun someone, and, like, there's gonna be hell to pay. I just really enjoy him. Yeah, I just like you said, Night Sisters used to stomp him, and the other day I got my hand slapped. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna use Night Sisters on Resistance because I've gotten away with it a couple times. with the hero bros and Jedi training Rey, the whole thing. I'm like, as long as you can kill Finn, you're good. But if you can't target him, if they have the right modding and stuff, I just got my hands slapped. I didn't even kill a single character. It's embarrassing. But yeah, they're a good team, good character. All right, next up is Ahsoka. Apparently, no, we got to go to the next list here. So, Dark Trooper. I feel like he is on the edge of being too obvious. He's so ridiculous, man. I remember watching like 2 videos of him, and then I just instantly had him relic 8 the second I could. He is just so ludicrous, in fact.
Yeah, if anybody watches the metaverse streams, like every time I use him, I just giggle. Like I just can't help it. Like he just wasting characters, one-shotting characters. Especially if you put the mark on him for Piet and he's assist every time Piet goes. He levels entire teams without even critting,
Yeah.
right? Without even critting. So he's perfect for Malik. He's perfect for so many situations. He destroys the C pit. Like you can literally throw in your troopers with him on there, in P2 or P3 and basically auto it for 2 million, with very little effort in terms of modding. Just as long as they go in a certain order, 2 million easy on auto, right? So it's a great team for the C pit. He's unbelievable. Does so much. Turn meter. He does buff up the team. He gives more buffs for the Veers lead. He's not really married to the remnants. Unfortunately, we're still missing a 5th. But depending on the 5th that we get, hopefully one day, that Moff Gideon lead could come in to play a little bit, and he would be a big part of that team. So he's awesome. I cannot believe they have not changed him. To be honest, like I cannot believe he has not gotten toned down a little bit. Like he's a little over the top in terms of just farmable character. In terms of like
Yeah.
strength per GP, like power per GP, I would put him damn near the top of the list. Like just oh my god, stupid damage.
Yeah, and you have access to him on day 1. Like he's in a farmable level 1 node or something like that.
And I
It's
think
madness.
I think new players get him and Moff Gideon now too. That I can't confirm that. I physically watched somebody play the other day with Ahsoka and Anakin, but everyone says that you get Dark Trooper relatively easily now to start the game. So um, it's pretty silly.
Yeah. I know. I'm always like, I call him lazy trooper sometimes because he doesn't even walk over. He's like, I have to fly, and then I'm gonna pummel someone. I'll fly back, and I have to pummel someone again. But like after I fly, like that annoying guy who's like, have you ever had a friend who has like, I don't know, like a watch, some accessory or something, and everywhere you go, like he has to be like he's showing off the functionality of how cool it is, and like for what you're like trying to go around doing something else, and he's like, wait, I gotta adjust my thing, and it just like slows the whole group down. That's how I feel Dark Trooper is. And in fact, like in Conquest, he does that exact thing. I'm like, I'm trying to get marks here. Come on, bro. And he's like, I gotta fly every time. Every time. Yeah. He kind of he cracks me up. He's good. We'll see how he does. I want to see more of him in the next Mando season. But we have another kind of trooper here, though. Red Trooper. You actually inspired me to get him to Relic 7. Now I feel like you have him Relic 8 or something stupid. So what?
Oh yeah.
What you doing with him?
The damage output in him in terms of like single target damage, like non-GL, like non-obvious, if you will. I think Dark Trooper is really the only one that outshines him. The multi-faction First Order and Sith tag is what I'm so attracted in with him. Like I've been using him under Maul a lot. I've been using him under C. I use him under everything, every single team with those faction tags. I use him. He's an excellent conquest character. His basic has a 300% multiplier on it, right? Which is absolutely just insane because he has no damage penalty when he's constantly assisting, right? And you've got all these Sith characters like Palpatine, you've got and First Order like Crew, tons of stuns going around. You got First Order TIE Pilot. There's so many stuns. He assists on stuns, assists on crits, and the First Order team is heavily advantage based. He's awesome under any of the First Order leaders. Phasma with the assisting. Crew, he's great behind Crew, obviously, and then of course Hux. He's a countering character with a crit damage bonus. He just does insane amounts of damage. AOE, so you almost have to kill him first, right? Like if you're trying to counter the SOKR team with your JKR, we're starting to see a lot of the high end guilds really push for like high health and crit avoidance because if JKL can't kill him on that assist, you lose. Like you have to kill him first. Otherwise, if you kill other characters, he just goes berserk. Very, very good carry. He does have a cleanse too, which in some cases, maybe if you're using with DR, you don't want to, but he does have a cleanse, which is handy because that is something both the Sith and First Order kind of lack. So that's nice to have there. An AOE cleanse too, so it's pretty good.
Yeah, I've seen people do that, like have him on Darth Revan teams, and I'm like, I don't think you meant to do that, but
No,
okay.
like that's why you don't put him on. Like the AI will just cleanse all the ferocity right off. So you don't
Yeah.
you don't want to do that. Yeah.
Yep, just slurp it right off. So yeah, yeah, the high health stuff. He's so obnoxious to kill. Honestly, with that Jedi Revan team, like you just can't do it if you have high health and crit avoid and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, I see. You have
He's
him
good.
modded for high health too. Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Yeah, he's obnoxious because his damage is good even without offense mods.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. All right, next up, Chupio, the guy who transformed the CLS team from like I'm almost going into obscurity again for the fifth time into I'm relevant once again, probably forever. Is a good character. He's kind of complex actually. Like the way he like takes stats and then he hands other stats out, but it's from the leader. It's interesting. It's the only version that I've ever liked 3PO in personally from the movies. I've always hated that guy, but not the character. 3PO is great, but Chupio, man, and that's because I like Chewie. So who doesn't like a Wookiee? Um, and I like that his relic is some spare parts. It's nice. Yeah, like what kind of cool stuff do you have to say about Chupio? I sing his praises every stream almost. He's so good.
Yeah, and I mean, just the stat sharing. What's awesome about him? He's a great PVE character because his AOE, every character you kill will enhance the damage, right? And so every character you kill in like an assault battle or a TB just continues to stack, and by that final wave, you're just laying the wood to everybody in sight. AOE blinds definitely very cool. With the protection regeneration, which is nice. It really, especially if you're fighting like a gas. Sometimes gas can go a little berserk and things start getting out of control. It's nice to have some protection recovery there, um, especially protection against gas. So it's very nice. Um, I'm really, yeah. They came out with this character and I thought he looked ridiculous. I was like, what the hell is this? But then it turns out being one of the best characters. Like you said, totally revitalized the CLS team that was on basically its last leg, and like we could use it against Treya. So it's
Right.
now you can beat DR with it, you can beat gas with it. It's great for cleaning up leftover GLs. Like it's just so much you can do with the Rebel team. And he's a droid, which is cool.
Right.
So
Oh yeah, he's super cool. I really like him. He's got all the stuff that I want. Makes him so super versatile. I want to see him. I want to see the next iteration of the CLS team that replaces Chupio, and then Chupio can kind of like freelance. I know that everyone was saying he needed to go with Mothra because he had some very interesting interactions with her. Just in turn, like he mimics her kind of, but I don't know. Feels like you don't need him on her.
I use Chupio in excuse me TB with Mon Mothma team. That's the only time I use it with Mon Mothma.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's good. So the latest Relic 7 that every single person has, much to my chagrin, because he's just so frustrating to deal with, is Jango Fett. I don't know. There's a lot to say about him. He does all the damage. He kills people. The other day I saw someone put Watt with him because they didn't want to put the Zeta on him. They're like, I'll just use Watt with him. So they didn't put the unique Zeta that kills people with him, and I'm like, I guess that's cool. I don't know. But he's like a one-stop shop, really. You don't need Watt. He needs no one, really, except for maybe like a separatist to turn him on. Where do you use Jango the most?
All over the place. I mean, look at the top of the screen: bounty hunter, Mandalorian, scoundrel, separatist. Wherever you want. It's just so versatile. Like, let's say I want to use like an Aura Singh team to kill like a BAM or something, and then I end up having Jango left over. I can put him wherever I want. I can put him with Bo-Katan. I can put him with any separatist team, any scoundrel team. You can put him with Kira if you wanted. Like, it's just he can bypass taunts, the double tap, and the debuffs is awesome. Just the leadership when it came out, it was kind of hot, but I don't think it's kind of faded off into the sunset. I think there are better leaderships now, but just so much damage on that missile. And now, like you said, Everybody has them R7. I think people are really like maybe you didn't have the bounty hunters. Maybe I was a slow adapter of the bounty hunters myself, and now that I have them R7, I'm like, wow, this guy's just laying out characters. Like he's vital to kill Night Sisters. Can't revive if you kill him on his turn, so it just wastes the Night Sisters. Kills all sorts of sort of revive mechanics, like on Mon Mothma, like any team, that Jedi team with Jolie in it. So just really wrecks the revive mechanic altogether. It's probably my favorite aspect of it.
Oh yeah, the no revive thing. I feel like that's like one of the fundamental things. Like, I see bounty hunters as a fundamental squad for the game. Actually, like it seems crazy, but you need them for so many things, and he is a huge part of it. Him and Boba have that you can't revive nah kind of thing going on, and it's wonderful. It's magic. It's just like, oh, this guy's tough to kill. Like, it's easy to kill, but he comes back every time. Jango solves that. Like, we're good. He's good. And I love that he's a skill character, that you can really get a lot out of him. Like, the conflagration, you set people on fire, that's fun. But then if you target the right person, then their max health goes down by 25%. That's actually an enormous amount if you care about reducing their health at all, which some characters, like Malak, it's really relevant. If you target the right character that has a debuff, you can double tap with him, etc. You know, get that damage immunity stuff. Like he's just so versatile. A lot of fun.
What? Yeah, and all that max health stuff, like the reduction, like it's only going to get better as the game progresses. Like the higher relic levels, the higher the health pools. Like that's going to continue to be a relevant kind of ability, mechanic, if you will. I think Django's going to be around and relevant for a long, long time.
Sweet. Yeah, I agree. I think especially like healing him. Like, yeah, he's got all the things. Not to mention he's got all the tags, so he will be relevant. Like Mandos are good. Oh, cool. Like we could just throw Jango with them. Oh, Scoundrels are better now. Sure, we'll go with him. Yeah, great character. Sad that everyone has him. In fact. All right, so these last three, these are actually my picks. I just happened to stick them all here. But, Spy, Geospy, he's indisputably one of the highest damage dealers in the game, in the right circumstance. Like, and you said this before we started streaming, like, the reason you didn't have him on your list is he's just locked to a faction. Like, there's very few teams that you're like, oh yeah, just throw Spy with, like, Crew or something. Like, oh yeah, he's kind of good with Bad Batch. There's nothing for him but Geos for days.
Yeah, and it's a one-trick pony, but it's a very dynamic one-trick pony. Like, I think we've all been there where we're fighting a Geo team, and we're sitting here watching Spy's turn meter fill up and freaking out because we know we're going to lose a character, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, uh-oh, he's about to go. Who's he going to get? Because he's a pain. He's a pain. And those crit chance and all the buffs he gives himself, they'll stack, right? They just stack on top of each other, and he just does wicked amounts of damage. The exposed mechanic was cool. When they added that kind of when the Brood Alpha came out, and kind of the because he's always got the turn meter from debuffs. So like Sunfac will give him some on the counter. You know, Soldier's got the tenacity down now, so you can fuel the turn meter because he is miserably slow. But just an awesome character, and you can't target him to begin with because he's stealth, which has always been a great mechanic because she is super squishy.
Look at that. Plus 85 speed.
Yeah.
232. Yeah. He's like, sorry guys, I can't keep up. Yeah, but when he gets there, he kills things. He's fun. She. A lot of my streams I just call him she because I don't know. Who knows? We got veteran Han Solo here, and I don't know if he's top 11 attacker even on this list. I don't know. All I know is that he can be a way bigger pain than people give him credit for. And his kit is actually pretty versatile. He has daze, he has stun, ability block, stagger, counter. He has stacking defense, so if you're trying to focus him down with small things, like he'll just like counter you to death. He's a lot of fun. I don't know. I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are on him. Feel free to just tell me he doesn't belong anywhere
No, man,
near.
I was happy you picked him. I've always liked him. This is one of the first videos we made. I forget even the team we did, but we used Vet Han to counter something like Trey or whatever meta at the time. He's got the Resistance and Scoundrel tag, which is a lot of characters, right? He's perfect for slotting in. Like maybe you built your Ray team, you have enough good characters left, but not quite enough to make a team. The vets go in there perfect, and he scales really well with Kira in terms of they're above average base speed, and Kira leads with the AOE, or not leads, but if you can get Kira to go maybe a speed faster than Han, Kira leads with the AOE stagger, then Han follows it up, pops all the staggers in with ability block. So it's pretty. You just completely zap the entire team's turn meter with those two characters. He does a lot. Just a pain. Just defensively, he's not super scary, but you better believe him and his boy Chewie are going to steal some banners. I see you've got the Zeta, which is Clash almost sold me on it one time, but Clash almost sold me on it, and I've considered it many, many times. I like him. And I think a lot of people sleep on him or don't really take him seriously because they've never really taken the time to mod him properly. Like if you mod him properly, give him what he needs for whatever team you're trying to build. You can build him with potency. You can build him with offense. You can build him with health if you want to use him under like GL Ray, right? He's annoying. He can kind of disrupt the Vader counters a little bit if he lands a couple ability blocks here and there, a stagger. He can really disrupt things pretty quickly. Like you were saying before the stream, he countered you, 4 or 6 times. You double tapped him, and he'll just pop you right back. 4 or 5 times in a row. It's I'm glad you added him. That was cool. I'm glad to see him on there.
Cool. Awesome.
Chewie sucks. I think Bet Chewie sucks, but Bet Han's good.
Sure. Well, at least like Chewie kind of goes okay with him though.
Yeah.
You're right though. It's just like I don't like you, but I hate that I had to base gear, but no, he's good. Obviously, I haven't put 6E mods on him yet. Like he's not so good that I'm gonna put all my good resources, but
no.
No. I'll tell you what. The one character I ever the one surprise time Geos have been, at least they have a history of being like the bane of my existence, kind of in GAC. Like there are times that I can't clear, and you throw your roster of Geos, and you can't do it if you don't have the right team. The one time I was ever surprised by anyone, and I was able to actually full clear Geos when I didn't think it was going to happen, was him under a Finn lead. And they just kept hitting him, and he wasn't dazed or anything, and he wouldn't die, and he just kept popping him back. And eventually he just they ran out of health, and the whole team exploded. I was like, that was pretty awesome. I don't even know what happened. I had to go back and look at the video. I had no idea that he would actually do anything remotely good. But yeah, he'll surprise you. He's surprisingly good for how mediocre he reads.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now we have the not meth, not even once character. Do you remember when that character art came out and it for Sabine, she her face on here is still not great, but the CG accompanying art was even worse.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite memes was a picture of just her in her normal form. They didn't even alter the picture, and it just said meth, not even once. It's just because it was just so bad of her, and I'm over it. It's been years, but yeah, I like her on the Mando team. I'm so excited. When I found out she was getting the Mando tag and that her ability, her Demolish or Zeta ability was going to go alongside Mando's, I instantly just threw everything. I was supposed to be gearing some character for an unlock or something, and I was like, sorry guys, I'm just gonna get Sabine to Relic 4 real quick.
I did the exact same thing. That it was such a subtle, small change, but it meant so much because that's, it's just because especially with so many AOE's in that faction, it's basically an AOE faction. So you've got Bo-Katan provides the daze, she provides the exposed, and there's a multitude of other AOE's you can use to pop those staggers from Sabine. She does pretty good damage too. Like we were talking before the stream, if you want to use Bam on the team, Bam with 20 whistling birds with offense up, somebody's getting deleted, if not two. So it's pretty. Don't sleep on the offense up aspect of her kit. It doesn't look like much, but it means a whole lot, especially that faction that really doesn't generate tons of damage unless your name's Jango, right? I mean, right. Ordo generates lots of damage, but just individual hits are relatively small. So. She's
right. This is barrage damage or something, just wear you down over time. Yeah. So I love that she can use that. I think my favorite interaction actually with the Mandos, and you kind of touched on it, is like, so I have her modded so she's just a little bit faster than Bo-Katan, and so she'll do her throw, and it hits everyone because she's Mando and all that. Or because yeah, sure, it works with Mandos, and then it puts stagger on everyone, and then Bo-Katan goes immediately after, and then she can't miss. So the first one can't be evaded. The next one also can't be evaded, and it just like you said. I forget what the interaction was before. One of the other characters you were talking about, like everyone has stagger. Yeah, Kira with I think it was Veteran Han actually. Like you do the AOE, so she does her stagger, and then Bo-Katan goes in and knocks them all down. All that turn meter. It's nice. Just a
AoE
fun.
stagger in general, I think, is really underutilized in this game. I don't see too many people talking about it, but that can be a game changer. Get the staggers out and just pop them all, win one AoE, and you basically get to cycle and basically lap your opponent. It's pretty handy. Her basics
Yeah.
unpredictable, but I mean, if you have the luxury of targeting characters like based on their turn meter, you can deal a lot of damage there too. So
Yeah, I barely pay attention to that actually, but yeah. Well, it's also like, okay, so you have a Mando go, you have them do a basic under Bo-Katan lead, so that someone assists. You're like, please be Ahsoka, or please, please be Sabine, because this person has less than 70% turn meter, or has less than 30% turn meter, and they're debuffed, and like you're trying to, it's unpredictable, like you say. Plus, her ship is okay. It's not great, but it's okay.
it's like a safety valve. Like, well, it's really senseless for me to bring in Cassian right now because Clone Surge is out there. So we'll just bring in. It's basically buy stall because then you can just call in Cassian the next turn. Doesn't really do too much. I mean, I use it all the time, but it's not like a sexy ship.
Sure. Oh yeah, you're not like, oh yeah, farm Phantom right now.
Yeah.
Amazing ship. All right, so we had a couple characters that I mean, a lot of people still use them. So there's like no disrespect, unless you want it to be. But three characters that kind of have had the spotlight on them for a long time, and we both feel that they're a little bit, I don't know if overrated is the right word. They're like, I think we said used to be good, like used to be really good. So the first one of those is Wampa. And I know that Endall is going to claw our eyes out for this, but he's. I want to like him so much. He looks so cool. He's just like, oh yeah, his whole kit just screams like this consummate, amazing badass. And in the end, he has no tags, and you have to babysit him.
Yeah.
Uh, I
And
don't
much
know.
like you, much like I already know the comments are gonna be like, well, you need to R7 him. Well, much like you, mine's only R3. It's just like you just have to either protect him or just have to put a ridiculous amount of tenacity on it. Just he's so vulnerable to start the match because he's super squishy until he gets that protection up. Just Han Solo just completely deletes him. So, but he's just a character that doesn't really scale well because I think Zareth and I are similar GPs. What about 8 million you are?
Yeah, 8.1, something
Yeah.
like that.
So like it just hasn't scaled well to the upper tiers of like Grand Arena. Just he's valuable AOE days. Like you said, the kit looks like he's got it all, but just one thing goes wrong, one days just completely wrecks your entire strategy, right? He just gets debuffed once. It
Yeah.
just, there's, I don't know. There's just, yeah. The faction tag, I think, is the biggest kickback that's just like, he doesn't synergize with anything. He's just there.
Yeah,
He's,
like
yeah, just,
one day we'll have like a beast faction or something, and he'll go right alongside like a Rathtar, and it'll be just like this really cool thing.
maybe. I mean, they lumped in basically Visas Mars and some of his other characters into that unaligned force user tag. So who knows?
Yeah, yeah. Who knows? I think his best value to me is just the debate. I've never even. I think I've answered it a few times, but people don't remember. Like, which Wampa Zeta is best? No one can agree. Like you can poll you can poll a group, and maybe there'll be a greater preponderance of one or the other, but it's not unanimous. It's not like Merciless Massacre on Vader, where everyone's like, yeah, just do Merciless Massacre, a hole. Like obviously, for Wampa, it's ambiguous. People don't know what to pick.
We had a
Uh,
big stream on which Zeta was best and which sex
oh,
is
did
Wampa.
you?
We had a big debate about both topics. I don't remember which one I picked, but now I wish I had that Zeta back. I don't remember which one. I only have one. I don't even know which one it is, but it's been so long since I've used him, and I get down to nothing sometimes in Grand Arena. I use everything, and Wampa's usually just hanging out there on the bottom of my roster, not doing much. So we'll try.
Yeah.
We'll try again
I've
one day
been
for Indal.
3v3. I ended up using him if I don't have Watt, if I haven't used Watt with like Sith Eternal or something, then Watt will make him good if you have a good taunter as well. And I happen to have Relic 7 Stormtrooper Han, so like 3v3 he's relevant. 5v5 I've used him a few times even now that we have expanded divisions, but like he'll just start sinking down lower and lower. Like today, I used all my good teams but him, because I just classified him as my cleanup. Like, all right, Wampa, you're up. Damn it all! Like, I don't want to put my hopes in you, but
It could be user error. He just constantly disappoints me every time I get him in there and think I can pull something off with him. Like I said, he just gets stunned, gets dazed, dies. Like just he's extremely vulnerable to plague. Like if you're trying to kill Night Sisters with him and you can't get that protection up, he's a.
You have Jedi Knight Luke, and you're like, okay, obviously we want to base a team around him. You put him on lead, he can't be feared, he can't be stunned, he does a lot of damage, he stuns everyone. Do you really want to have Wampa, because he requires so much support, do you really want him to be the guy you lean on, the way you leaned on like a Jedi Knight Luke kind of character? Like, he's just unreliable. Like you said, he's got a million different little weaknesses. So, anyways, I do like Wampa. It makes me sad that he's on the list, but we got to throw him under the bus a little bit. So, next up, Calvin is going to claw our eyes out for saying Nest. And she's still got a lot of utility, but she at 8.1 million GP especially, she's lost her luster for me quite a bit. She doesn't solo a single thing anymore.
And like we were talking before the stream, I basically just use her as a trooper blocker now. That's it. Like whatever team is vulnerable to troopers, I'll throw her in and just cross my fingers that they try troopers on it. Like she's great. Like I don't think we're saying these characters are bad, right? But they're very
Correct.
usable. She's very good. Like you have her modded for tenacity. I think her like Wampa as well. I think Wampa and Nest are so dynamic and powerful at a lower GP, kind of like the lower divisions of Grand Arena, that people overinvest in them. And then you get to the end, like where we are now, or not the end, but we're up in the Division 1. And it's just like you said, she can't do the tricks that we used to rely on so often in Grand Arena. Like she's there, she's useful, she's a pain, but now, I mean, how many Annihilates are there in the game? Like there's just, you just wait, stall like Nihilus, you got Mando. I mean, we're going to have Commander Ahsoka soon. There's so many ways to, and hell, you can even go all the way back to using JTR with OG Finn. Just let him stack his special damage up. Spy pops her. There's just so many ways to get rid of her now. And plus, tenacity down. There's so many forms of tenacity down that a lot of people put this tenacity build on her. And all I need is one tenacity down, or I can still stun her. I can still daze her. She's not quite as dynamic as she once was. I loved her when she came out. She was my favorite character. I was putting her with everything, and she's fallen a good bit for me.
Yeah, absolutely. She used to be really great. She's still fine. She's. I guess the thing that I'm reacting to too is like, so Wampa used to be this really cool character. I mean, IPD used to be a really cool character because IPD would one-shot any character in the game if you got the right circumstances. Now IPD marches his happy ass up to some tank and blows up, and IG-11's like, you didn't kill my protection, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. That explosion does nothing. So you take IPD for other things, and that's fine. He has his niche, but like Nest, she's only one character. She's gaining her stats. And then she's facing characters who, like, teams who have 5 characters who are upping their stats. Like, she's just going to eventually, like, we're going to stop being able to solo things eventually. Like, really, when was the last time you were able to solo something? Like, Sith Eternal, maybe, every once in a while? It's like a GL can do it, but, like, no marquee characters, certainly.
Well, I think my biggest gripe with her is there are just too many journey guide characters on the fleet nodes to justify skipping all of them and going for her. Like, there's too many good, like, not even good characters, but like Jolie, like B1. I think Shaak T's there. There's characters you need for all these events now. She could wait.
Wait your turn, Nest.
Yeah.
All right, so last on this list here, we've got Night Sister Spirit. And I still think, in the context of Night Sisters, Night Sister Spirit is pretty awesome. I regret none of the relics that are on her. I have a couple videos of her just one-shotting ridiculous people. Just laying waste to people because she ignores the armor and all that stuff. Like, I remember one time she one-shot a relic GK. I was like, no way, this is so cool. But I don't know. She doesn't quite make the list on the top 10 or top 11 even.
Yeah, I don't regret the relics. Mine's only 3, but I think she was probably the 3rd or 4th character that I ever relicked because the Night Sisters at the time were so good. And I know if I'm looking at a Night Sister team, I look at Spirit first. Like, that's who I look at to determine if something's going to work or not, and then maybe Asajj. But she's really good. Stun. The turn meter removal. You can run her a variety of ways. You can run her crit damage. You can run her speed and potency just to be annoying, and just remove tons and tons of turn meter. Like, there's lots of ways to mod her. She's got good base stats for just a very generic character. In terms of like power per GP, she's pretty good. Only 3 abilities, so she's kind of like a first order executioner type. Lots of damage for low cost. For those conscious of your GP and like matchmaking, characters, she can be pretty valuable in that regard. Evasion is always annoying too. So
yeah, I guess maybe she's not a she sucks now character. She's just not as good as she used to be. A slowly fading into the distance character.
Oh yeah, she used to get like my fastest secondary, like crit damage or offense,
Nice,
whatever I was
yeah.
running at her all the time. She used to get my best sets, and now her poor mods have been picked over for many moons. So
Oh, this isn't bad actually. I'm surprised I have her this fast for a crit damage set. It's pretty good.
yeah,
110. I'm good with it. Yeah, you're right though. Like, well, and now it's like Relic 5. I put a Relic 5. She's probably my highest Relic for a while. People are like, really? Relic 5 on Spirit? Who cares? And then she goes in and terrorizes them, and they realize how good she is. And now it's, if someone isn't Relic 5, and I'm facing them, I tend to think, like, oh, they'll be easy to kill now. So
that's crazy. Yeah,
things have escalated. And of course, we have some of the bigger GPs in the game, so I know that's not relevant to everyone. But anyways, I think that's it for our top 11-ish, top 14-ish. I don't even know. But thanks for coming on with me, Gom. What do you have anything else you want to say to the world, especially to the people who play Galaxy of Heroes? Because most of the people in the world who don't play Galaxy of Heroes will never ever watch this video.
well, not really. It's really tough to give a schedule and win a stream because they keep rotating the Grand Arena schedule. So not even gonna attempt to do that. But I guess when in doubt, farm for keep an eye out for offense percentage and health percentage stats. Those are very important. Very important.
Absolutely. Until 7E is released, until 7 dot mods, and then maybe they change that formula, or maybe not.
That is true. So that's very true. But,
cool.
Yeah, but thanks for having me, man. This is a lot of fun.
Dude, super fun. We'll do it again. So, thank you everyone for watching, and remember that in all things, Zareth and Operation Metaverse, probably especially Operation Metaverse, prevails.